Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello, and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Business Banking at Jovia Financial Credit Union, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, CEO, keeper of the brand marketing and digital agency.
We're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship. We bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. Plus, we interview some of the top business leaders in the industry.
And helping provide us with business empowerment today is a seasoned, not-for-profit leader, founding president of the AfricanAmerican Small Business Foundation, board member of the Long Island Association, and president of the AfricanAmerican Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Phil Andrews. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Thank you.
We're really glad to have you on today. You wear a lot of hats, obviously, from the intro. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Brooklyn. Then I came out to Long Island in my 20s. I ran a barbershop franchise for 10 years, the Haircut Hut barbershop franchise located in Brooklyn, Queens, Uniondale, Roosevelt, Staten Island, and Jamaica. And I also became board of directors of the 100 Black Men of Long Island in my 20s. So I have a very lengthy level of service and leadership. And I was very much in 2013 term limited like Obama. and then I got a call to be the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and I accepted. But the Chamber of Commerce was not new to me because I was a small business champion of the year for two chambers, the West Indian Chamber of Commerce and the Roosevelt Chamber of Commerce. So since that time, we've become the largest African-American Chamber of Commerce in New York State.
And so, Phil, can you tell us a little bit about the work you do with the Long Island African-American Chamber of Commerce?
Well, one of the things, during the PPP, the COVID crisis, we brought in $250,000 in PPP loans. We partnered with a national bank, flew in for Philadelphia, Customers Bank, to partner with us. And we've also... I was the 2019 small business champion for all of downstate New York, and I don't think that's never happened on Long Island. Since being a business person, you got to understand the Chamber of Commerce, understand what people go through. So those are the things that I do every day. People need access to capital. Just last week, there was a new state director for the whole state of New York, SBDC Center. They reached out to us, had us on the conference calls. So we really integrated into resources like the EAP Center at Hofstra, EAP Center at Suffolk Community College. We work with tons of resources. We have done a boot camp, a 2-day boot camp, and we partnered with the SUNY Old Westbury School of Business Management for 2 days. And we've also done an expo at Nassau Community College. And I'm a big fan of Nassau Community College. Not only did we do an expo, but I put an endowment there for older women going to school. So we have money invested in the future education of older women in Nassau Community College. And a lot of this I've been doing for years. As a president of 100, we had endowments at Adelphi, Hofstra, Adelphi, Farmingdale, in Nassau Community College. So I got the idea, well, let me put some money in the school. It's a good way to be friends with any president. The presidents change sometimes, and we keep the continuity with the institution.
That's amazing work and great investment in the community and in small business. Now, as I mentioned, you wear a lot of hats. But what does your average day-to-day look like? I mean, are you primarily involved with the Long Island African-American Chamber of Commerce, or are you involved with other initiatives? Tell us about your day-to-day.
Yes, I do. I'm very active in the marketing of the Chamber of Commerce. As you know, we probably in Newsday or the public newspapers every week. City and State just interviewed me this week. Newsday, we appear on a regular basis. So And I also sit on some very large boards, like the Long Island Association. the Interfaith Nutrition Network. And yesterday we had a call on the infrastructure bill, and I was part of the panel on the infrastructure bill. I've also sit on the wind committee, bringing wind energy to Long Island, the Long Island Association. So I'm a very prominent leader on Long Island, and it's the day can go from A to Z. And we get a lot of calls. We've partnered with a national company called Wish Local before, a global company, which is a competitor to Amazon, and they partnered with us around increasing the footprint in the Black businesses by delivering their products to local stores so they can pick up their products at the store. And we also, I forgot to mention, we also are a customer of Jovia's Bank. We have a business account at Jovia.
Thank you very much. I hope we're taking good care of you.
Yes.
Smart man there. So now, Ray and Phil, tell us a little bit about, really what sets you apart from other leaders, that's working with chambers or with small businesses. It seems that you have a deep passion for what you do.
Yes, one of the things is when you're dealing with corporations, you really got to be able to listen to the needs of the corporation. And I also listen to the needs of the members, because I learned a long time ago, you got to be able to deliver. When we partner with corporations, they go, well, what's the deliverables? They was able to outreach to X number of business owners. They got some media coverage. So I have a long history of some corporations saying the work that I do is a model of what a nonprofit is to working with a corporation. And you got to have vision. I got to look down the block, under the block, around, over the block. A leader have to have a long view of things, even when they're not going correct.
Absolutely.
Now, you do a lot of networking. I know that when I'm out, I usually you're one of the friendly faces I look for. How do you choose the networking groups that you're involved with?
Well, I look for quality. I look for the relationships. I ran a business called the Power Networking Business Seminar Series for many years, and was named one of the top networkers in the region. And one of the things that I also believe that it's not enough just to give somebody your business card and come to a network. I combine network with training and human development, because, you can say the wrong thing. You rush to give somebody a card. It's really about rapid, getting to know, like, and trust people. And over a long period of time, if you keep showing up, people will see that you have the ability and the passion, and you can deliver the services, because the worst thing to do is show up all the time and not come with the right attitude in your A game.
Absolutely. And I think Ray is really vying for that title of ultimate networker. So I think he's right there with you, Phil.
Great.
Learn a lot from these guys, ladies and gentlemen, listening.
And I've probably read every book on networking, Mike Ferrazzi, Never Eat Alone, also the B&I books. So I'm a very, networking is an art, and it need to be studied. It probably need to have a course at the university.
I think that's a great idea. And I think you touched on upon a couple of things, and it's not just making it about the handing out business cards, exchanging business cards, although that's, certainly necessary. Really at the end of the day, it's about you working together. I know I see you're very much involved with not-for-profits, and it's really working on those committees with people about a shared passion. You really get to know each other, and it builds a relationship. And I see that that's something that you do very well. You're very much involved with that. Tell us about some of your work with not-for-profits.
Well, I serve on the board of the Interfaith Nutrition Network. They feed about 500 people a day, 365 days a year. And I've been serving on that board for 2 terms. And it's been very fulfilling to know that, you have an African-American on that board, because many of the people they serve is African-Americans and Latinos. And I also serve on the leadership council of the Big Brothers and Sisters. Prior to that, I had many years at the 100 Black Men as a 2-term president of that organization, and came to influence and power in that organization, because in that organization we had like Tuskegee Airmen, We had brigadier generals. So I've served under some tremendous men, and we had the attitude is that you had to turn over every stone.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of National Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, and our guest today is Phil Andrews, president of the Long Island African-American Chamber of Commerce.
Now, Phil, in addition to so many things you do, I have no idea when you sleep. You're also very connected to some of the small business members, such as myself. I'm a member of the Long Island African-American Chamber. There's full transparency, everyone. But Phil, I know you have a PR company. Can you talk about the work you do and how you help forge, some of the members forward with the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, many times, I'm like a center of influence in the media. So the media calls me on a regular basis and say, we looking for somebody who got a business that's been around on Long Island for 20 years. This last week, I was in the newspaper. They sent a reporter to me because they did a story on email. So, I got 200,000 emails, and they did it. It was like how to manage it. I said, well, I got folders and I got subfolders. So I get all of these opportunities. I have a lot of relationships with press. I've been prior to the media that we have now, about for 20 years, I was in a community journal. I don't know if you remember the community journal newspaper, and it was the oldest paper, African-American paper on Long Island. I wrote for it, and they had me 3 or 4 pages in every paper for 20 years. So I'm not new to media, but I'm a friend of media. And I respect media because media is a lot of part of our success. So I was, for a little while, I was the Black Public Relations Society president of New York, but I stepped down in that position. But I read something years ago that inspired me. The most successful people are massive communicators, like Dr. King and businesses. We got to talk to people and talk to people. We got to tell our stories. And as our stories are told, our companies grow. So I think that's critical that a small business owner really document the history and celebrate and put their stories in the media so people could understand your stories, because you're telling a story when you're growing your company. Absolutely.
And now, does the Chamber provide public relations tips or workshops that people can participate in? Because I'm sure so many entrepreneurs also wonder, like, how do I, get placement in media?
Yes, we have done that. We have done some social media marketing. Matter of fact, we're going to be doing a lot of that because we are the only Chamber of Commerce that has part of the SBA Navigator grant. And we are not the hub, but we're the spoke. And that's the grant that came out of Washington, D.C. So we're going to be getting funding to do exactly that. And that's what we want to do. We want to be able to use our skills. I have a saying that if you only work with your own calling, you're only going to get somewhere so far. When we work with other people and other callings, then our businesses are magnified.
Doing what you do, what are some of the challenges that you face, and how is it that you and the businesses you work with overcome them?
Well, some of the challenges that businesses could really be very busy, and they sometimes don't go get the technical assistance that they need. And one of the things that when a business person calls me, the first thing I usually ask them, have you had any business training? Because a lot of times, a lot of people they do something good. They bake cakes, but so far as putting their cash on a statement and keeping the books and human relations and human resources and paying their taxes. So business, you don't have to be all things, but you need to surround yourself with skill sets and mindsets that you need to be successful. Because I often says it's like, well, just because you had one child don't mean you know how to raise 10. And as your business begins to grow, it gets more complex. So I advocate for training. We do training. We bring the IRS. We bring the Department of Labor. Because, years ago I had a business and I closed it down. And I inadvertently forgot to report it, but they came after me for taxes. But then they said, you know what, we knew the business was closed, and they forgave the tax. So when you're in business, there's certain things that you're regulated to do. So that's why the Chamber of Commerce is very important, because we got to make sure, like like putting money away for taxes, right? You can't spend it all on yourself and don't pay taxes, and then you got to put some away for retirement. So we want the businesses. The whole idea of the chamber is, if we are creating successful businesses, then we're doing our job. The business is not growing, then and then there's a restaurant revitalization grant around feeding homeless from restaurants. I was able to hook into one of our businesses where she's going to be getting like 150 to 200 meals a week to revitalize the restaurant that came out of because the restaurants were suffering during this COVID crisis. So that's why the Chamber of Commerce is in the know. We can find out a lot of stuff for you, resources, but the everyday business person is in the grind. They don't get the information. So that's what we're there for.
Throughout this pandemic, what are some of the other things that you've been doing to help businesses meet with these challenges? Because it does seem like, look, we thought this was going to kind of pass through, and it was a year. Now we're working on it. It's the year 2, year 3. So, how have you helped businesses with kind of getting through this unexpected, how long this is taking?
We were doing workshops on PPP loans, preparations, EIDL loan, emergency disaster loans, almost like 2 and 3 times a week.
Wow.
We netted $250,000 for the first time partnering with a bank. I think that's a big deal, and the bank is going to have a continued partnership with all of the loans that the SBA has. So we've been very busy, and then also providing a network because we still needed to do business. We still needed to trade. We did an expo virtually last year. We're looking to do one again this year because we still need to highlight the businesses. And today I got a call around a local official wants to help us market our businesses and send them out to 33,000 people in this district. So I think the Chamber of Commerce is very viable. We see the difference. We usually get about 80 to 90 people at a meeting all year long. Most chambers do not have that type of footprint.
Now, what type of advice would you give some of the small businesses out there? You went from, first leg was becoming an NWBE and getting all these certifications, pandemic hits, and then you have to learn all the alphabets for the PPP and EDIL. What advice would you give people that are listening to keep forging, and pushing forward?
But one of the things I'm a big proponent of is invest in yourself. Read books like Good to Great, how to get the right people on the bus, because that's really, all the money you make is going to come through people. So we got to keep investing in ourselves and our attitude. And you got to have the right type of personality. You got to know how to, listen to people and develop rapid and you have to invest in yourself. Sometimes businesses do not show up. There's an old saying that 90% of success is showing up. I'm sure you've met a lot of people that you was able to yield value because you showed up. But a lot of businesses, somehow, they just don't show up. Wow.
That goes back to your networking. So is it, showing up in networking, showing up in participation and being active on committees? What do you suggest?
Well, I think you need to learn. You need to learn as much as you can. You have 8-week course at Hofstra University. It's like a mini MBA program. You also have the Ascend program. You have the SBDCs that counsel you. You have also the Small Business Administration does counseling, contracting, and access to capital. That's a whole lot for an agency to do those 3 things. But when I got honored as the 2019 Small Business Champion, there was a business that was awarded an award through the SBA, but they went through some rough patches. And the SBA, being the fact that they work with the SBA, now they're a $6 million corporation. The businesses have to find time to get technical assistance to help grow, because you may be finding clients in other areas, because they help you. When they say the SBA do procurement, they can help your company find contracting opportunities. But if the business does not go to the SBA, how can they help you?
Absolutely.
Phil, you're always smiling. And that just shows that you you really do. You're very passionate about what you do. You really love what you do, and it definitely shows through. What is it that you like most about what you do?
Well, I like making a difference. I like making a difference, and being that I have an entrepreneurial mindset. I like building things, and that's what business is about. It's about building. I wonder what this could become. So I'm very inspired by growing the membership, seeing successful businesses, and we've just had a joy. We've done some signature events. I don't know. Donyshia, if you may have been, for the last 5 years, we used to do a Black History Month at Bloomingdale's. And we used to have the art up for a whole month, and 400 or 500 people would come some years to do art. And it was a signature event. So we've done a lot. It really is a joy. I tell people also, too, you got to take time to enjoy yourself, too. Because when I was the president of the 100, someone said, well, you need to celebrate the milestones. And I did just that. I had the legislator open up the legislative building, and I brought the national chairman, and we celebrated the anniversary of the 100 Black Men chapter. So I think we could be kind of too hard on ourselves too sometimes. We need to celebrate the milestones. That'll keep us motivated.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Phil Andrews, president of the Long Island African-American Chamber of Commerce. My name is Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Okay, this next question is a two-parter here, Phil. Looking back over all the work that you've done, what are the major accomplishments that you're most proud of? And then part two is, what is it that you're looking forward to doing in the future?
Well, the first part, I'm definitely proud of being the 2019 Small Business Champion. But that's a really hard question because I've also been named to City and State magazine as the one of the top powerful 100 people for the last 3 years. And I've also, this year, I went into the Long Island Business Hall of Fame. And my work is going to be immortalized with a plaque at Hofstra University School of Business, Zob School of Business. So,
wow.
Hey, that was a tough question.
And how about the part two for that? So what is it that you think we got to focus on for the future?
Well, I want to focus on really getting the growth for the businesses and the growth of the chamber and through the Navigator grant that we have through the SBA, because I feel that businesses need technical advice. I feel that I can deliver services in a different way. And the foundation, we put the foundation up. As you know, a 501c6 does not get the funding that a 501c3 does. So we put the foundation up so we could do more services and we can get more funding to do more to help small businesses and to attack the growth of different industries in our community.
What are some of the things that you'd recommend a business keep on top of in terms of resources? Like, where should they go for information? What are the best, maybe the top three or so?
Well, I would say the SBD Center in Farmingdale is great. You got the Suffolk County EAP Center. They've won awards statewide. And Hofstra EAP is good, too. You have a lot of resources in the Chamber of Commerce. We are a resource. You wouldn't think that we are a resource, but, somebody got to listen to you that knows something about business to kind of give you a recommendation. So we've been around to know where these services at, whether it's certification, whether it's access to capital. It's a funny thing. I get those calls every day. I need access to capital. Where you need money at? I don't have, during PPP, they didn't have relationships with banks. And I was able to give them, these are the banks, they have a relationship with banks. And it was a tough situation because if you didn't have no relationship, you didn't know who to call. So who did they call? The Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, I think that's extremely important. And it's also the partnerships of the businesses to know what one another does and to be able to refer those businesses. I often find that if I'm shopping at a place locally, I'll ask, I'm also looking for this, and they'll be able to give me recommendations to other stores. So I definitely think the chambers are a resource to definitely to tap into. With all that you do, how do you keep yourself balancing the life and the work stuff. I know a lot of small businesses, especially now with the way things are, really suffer from balancing that. How do you do that?
Well, I try to set a schedule, certain days that I do certain things. And when you got different roles, one of the best ways I've heard to manage your time is set up a little time for each role that you have in your life.
I love that. That's so key. And, mental health is such a big a part of the world we live in today. And small business owners, they're always on a roller coaster. So that's something that is definitely needed. And I'm sure people are ringing your phone and sending you text messages, like myself, all times of the day and night.
Yeah, and the E-Myth, I'm a big proponent of the E-Myth too. A lot of businesses are doing it. And if they look at the E-Myth, they will put systems in their business. Just the other day, somebody called me and said, well, we're using technology now. Everything's going to be automated. You're going to be able to respond here and do this. And we have to use technology. And one of the things that we do, we definitely use technology at the chamber. We don't have to go to the bank and take a check every week because it goes straight to Jovi. And nice. I think that's a good thing.
Thank you. And we do as well. So
technology is only as good as the user.
Absolutely. Now, what's next for you and your team?
Well, right now we're working on a $10 million grant around workforce development with a leading nonprofit, and we've also got the SBA grant. We're from Washington, so we have to talk to Washington D.C. National organization around reporting, and that's going to be big because anytime you got a federal government grant that came from the White House, and we got a part of it coming to Long Island, and we're the only chamber of commerce on Long Island that had won in conjunction with our national organization. So we're going to be able to deliver some serious services. And we hope that's just the beginning of what we do with larger grants, doing more to really scale up the businesses on Long Island.
Well, Phil, please give us your contact information, where we can find you, and the website information for the chamber, please.
Phil Andrews, President, Long Island African-American Chamber of Commerce. The website is www.liaacc.org. And you can just put in LIAACC and it will come up. And you can also reach us at president@liaacc.org or 347-475-7158. You can just put in New York State largest African-American Chamber of Commerce. Google is very smart and we'll find us.
Excellent. Thanks so much for being with us, Phil.
Thank you. And
we've got to leave you with DB's philosophy, of course.
If you wake up deciding what you want to give versus what you're going to get, you become a more successful person. Russell Simmons.
We want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, your co-hosts and producers. Visit nccradio.org for more information. We're available on Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and as a podcast in iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the National Community College Foundation on the voice of National Community College, 90.3 WHPC.